Hey everyone, it's Deb here from Deb's Greenhouse.
And Michael from HiQ Greenhouses.
We are going to talk a little bit about strawberries today.
A very nice product that we saw
Yes.
is this pot right here.
Yeah, the second I saw this at one of the conferences, I'm like, we have to order this pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has 6 pockets, and it's predominantly meant to plant strawberries in, but of course you could put other things in it as well. It's
Put
a
it in
nice
the
deep
framework.
pot. Yeah, it's a nice deep pot with these pockets that are coming out. It's easy to fill with soil. It has a lot of soil volume, so
It's probably like 14 inches tall.
probably.
And I would say about a 10 inches across the
Yeah,
top.
yeah.
So it's quite deep.
Yeah, so you can hang it, but of course you could stand it as well. You
Yeah.
know, like it doesn't have to hang, but it does come with a hanger when you purchase it this year at Deb's.
So we plan on using this for our strawberry plants, putting 1 strawberry plant in each pocket, as well as a couple in the top. We also want to do some workshops using this, so watch for that on our website. I think it'd be perfect for herbs as well. I think that'd be super cute. So we got a bunch of these in. We're very excited about this new product.
So strawberries are becoming increasingly more popular for people to grow, and they're an easy to grow plant.
They are easy to grow.
Yeah.
So with strawberries, there are different ways that you can purchase strawberries or start strawberries. So my family heritage is actually berry farmers. So my great-grandparents, my grandparents, my dad all grew up on berry farms. So growing strawberries was like my grandma, when she retired, had just an acre of strawberries in her yard. That was just like for fun. So they definitely, we grew up in a strawberry family. Yeah. They always planted strawberries from roots, which that is what all the field-grown strawberries would be. We have ordered thousands and thousands of bare root strawberries over the years, and they come this just dried up root, no green on it.
Bundle of 10, with an elastic. So
or 1,000, commercial greenhouse growers are ordering quite an abundance of them. And if you're going to plant them, we want to talk about it because a lot of people do order bare root strawberries, and it's not hard, but there is a little process. So when you get that bare root, you need to trim the bottom of the root. So think of a cut flower bouquet. You need to trim the bottom of that stem or those roots so that they can take water up into the roots so they can rehydrate.
Well, and that they're easier to plant because the roots on a untrimmed strawberry are probably 10 inches long.
Yeah.
Now, trying to make a trench, that's 10 inches deep and getting the roots in straight is rather difficult. So a 5-inch trench is much easier to work with and get the roots down in the direction where they need to go and can absorb water.
Exactly. So what we do is we trim the roots, at least an inch or 2 comes off. Now, like Michael said, if they're 8 inches long, we're going to trim them probably in half. And then we soak them for at least an hour, up to overnight. You could soak them so that they're rehydrated we use a Rubbermaid box and just put them in water. We don't add anything else to the water. We just let them uptake the water and then we plant them.
Yep. Yeah, now compare that to a seeded strawberry, and a container like this, then having this full of soil, you can just put a plug, like the plug that's about the size of a toonie in diameter, you can easily plug that in here.
Yeah.
And remember that the genetics with the seeded strawberries has come such a long ways that the strawberry will produce berries the same size as the ones from roots, and they're just as sweet.
Yeah, and another thing to know with the roots, if you're buying bare root strawberries, you're not going to get 100% catch most of the time. Like if we buy 1,000 roots, we might get 800. Like I'm not saying there's 20% loss, but they just don't all come out of dormancy.
No, that's right.
Yeah, they don't all come out of dormancy.
No,
and so if you're buying bare root, just know that, the price is better. It's more economical for sure. But don't be disappointed when they don't all start growing.
No,
it's just how it is.
And just manage them, manage them differently, You were saying earlier that a seeded strawberry will produce runners and fruit from the runners in year 1.
Yeah, I would say the varieties that we grow a berry basket series in our strawberries. Those runners produce fruit in the first year as well.
Let's talk about overwintering a strawberry. Many people say, oh, I have a strawberry patch, it comes back every year. Yeah. What do I do, with this thing, if it's hanging from my patio?
Right. So Strawberries are easy to grow, but if you want to overwinter them, there are a few things that you need to do so that in our climate, like we're zone 3 to 4 here. We're just on the edge of a 4 where we live. If you live in Edmonton or Calgary, you definitely can get away with zone 4, no problem. Most strawberries are a zone 4, but you can overwinter them. Fairly simply.
Yeah, they need to be overwintered in the ground. As you know that your strawberry patch will come back every year. This would be exposed. A raised bed or these kinds of things would be exposed to the temperatures through the outside, through the plastic skin, and that's usually serious enough that it will kill the strawberry.
Right. So I would say by September, if you are serious about overwintering your strawberries, by September, pick a nice spot in your garden or in a flower bed that you've worked up and is weed-free, and take them out of that container and plant them into the ground. Now we want them to root into the ground, so if you're leaving it until October, the success rate of them wintering will go down. So by September, end of August by September, and they should come back for you just fine.
And leave the runners on. It'll be a little bit more work because now you've got some runners to deal with, but they also will produce a new plant in the spring. So planting the 6 that come out of this particular basket, for instance, plant them with a decent amount of space, so that you have a circle around them with the little plantlets, and you have in year 2 you'll have a very mature and good producing strawberry patch.
You will. So again, with those strawberry pots, we're so excited because it's going to be just a beautiful, abundant, there'll be, by the time you come into the greenhouse, there'll be runners hanging down and probably a lot of flowers, maybe not fruit yet in end of April, early May, but by mid-May, probably some fruit starting. It's not difficult to overwinter those, and we love gardening, we love plants, we love growing. We want you to try it. If you want to try it, try it. In a raised bed though, like Michael said, the temperature fluctuates too much on that edge of that raised bed, and they just so often are lost. And it's really in January, February, March where it starts warming up, and then it's hit with a 20 or 15 below Celsius, and they just can't survive that fluctuation. So that's why they do better in the ground. And keeping snow on top of those will insulate it. You can mulch them. We never mulched them, but we made sure there was snow on them.
Another thing with a seeded strawberry is you have the advantage of an option with different flower colors. The berry basket, as Debbie mentioned, comes in different colors. There is a pink flower, there is a red flower, and of course there's white ones. And we want you to know that no matter what color you see in a flower under these baskets, that particular seeded variety is carefully chosen and will produce the same size, big, juicy, plump berries as ones that have just a white flower. But the colored flowers, of course, are just amazing, an accent, further enhancing your gardening experience.
It makes the basket super pretty. So another thing about fruit, so all the fruit you're growing, including the strawberries, they have sweetness levels. So all of the fruit, to reach their max sweetness level, they need sunlight touching the leaves to do that. So if this is a strawberry leaf and it's in part shade through the day, that berry will never reach its max sweetness level. If those leaves are in full day sun, you're going to have sweeter fruit. Now that's strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, gooseberries are always tart, but even all of the orchard fruit that you're growing, if it is getting more light on that leaf in the daytime, it will be sweeter. It will reach its max sweetness. And a lot of people don't know that. So put those strawberries in a sunny spot. You will have to water them more, especially if they're in a pot, but you will have sweeter berries.
While watering is always super important, because look at the fruit needs to absorb all that moisture, to grow into a plump, big size raspberry, strawberry, it doesn't matter. So watering your berry patch, is super important. Don't neglect it.
Yeah, especially in the pots. They and anything in a pot also needs to be fertilized regularly because they can't draw from the earth like anything planted in the ground. And again, we would say just use your nature source fertilizer. Yeah.
And you do plant the plants with soil and use a slow release.
We do use a slow release.
Yeah. So
And
that would go on top of the soil,
Yeah.
blend it in a little bit. They're granulars that release their fertilizer on a timed basis based on temperature and sunlight and water.
Yeah.
So when all these factors happen and the growing conditions are perfect, then it'll release a little bit more fertilizer compared to a cloudy day or a rainy day.
Yeah, and if you are a commercial greenhouse grower and you're not using slow release granules in all of your containers, the difference is if having a basket or container that looks good through August and September. Now, any basket can look good through July, but to keep it like extra good, having that extra fertilizer in that pot is going to make a huge difference going into August and into September. So make sure that like you're adding it and you're adding the right amount per pot. If you have questions about that, message me and I can pass you on to my rep for that because he's an excellent grower.
Yeah. Well, and you carry the retail size at the store.
Yeah, we do. We have buckets of it. Yes. So thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you.
Bye.